Keep it going for Tony G. He's the only guy I know that was baptized with bond water. So, I've been married 40 years to the same woman consecutively, which is an accomplishment. You know, maturing in marriage is accepting the fact that your wife can't remember where she left her glasses, usually on top of her head. But you can't remember something I said 40 years ago on a Monday night at 8:58 p.m. You know, I found there's 4 stages to marriage. There's that newlywed stage. There's a lot of playful banter, a lot of innuendo. You're going at it like buddies. It's great. The second stage is happy. You know, the sex is good and the sex is frequent, but what do you get? What are you doing about here? He was screaming Yahtzee. We want in, we want to play. The third stage is amused. You look at each other, you're feeling kind of amorous. You go running up to the bedroom, you rip your clothes off, and you just look at each other and crack up because gravity's a bitch. And finally, there's that tolerance stage. All that playful banter of the youth is turned into a bit of bickering. You can't even stand to look at each other anymore. You still have sex. I like to call it hallway sex. You walk by each other and just go, screw you. You know, menopause was an interesting time for us. I like to refer to it as the thermostat wars. I was wondering what was going on, so I said to Pixie, I said, well, tell me what this is like. What are these hot flashes like? She says, well, it's like I'm burning up from the inside out. I says, oh, I get it. I says, it's like when I eat a spicy Italian meal. Well, I woke up a half hour later and she was standing over me with the frying pan. We're in bed one night and I hear buzz, buzz, getting a little bit louder, a little bit more intense. I'm getting all excited. I turn around and she's got the little electric fan from a nightside table. Man, I was disappointed. I thought it was a completely different buzzing. You know, the emotions during menopause are really like a roller coaster. You know, we'd be sitting there watching TV and a Kraft macaroni and cheese commercial would come on and she would break out crying. I would ask her what was wrong and she looked at me, she goes, how can those son of a bitches do that to pasta? You know, menopause is a signal to an Italian woman that she's basically going to be fighting facial hair for the remainder of her life. My grandmother, at 90 years old, had a beard that was so luxurious she could have fronted for ZZ Top. I'm from that rub dirt on it generation. You know, you got hurt playing a game, the coach would say, rub dirt on it. Well, I was catching a doubleheader and I took about 4 foul tips off a home plate straight up into my cup. I was in a lot of pain. So I said, Coach, you got to take me out. I can't catch anymore. He goes, don't worry about it. Go rub some dirt on it. Well, I go behind the stands and I'm rubbing dirt on it. And it's not feeling any better, but it's feeling pretty good. A couple of minutes later, all I had left was a handful of mud. You know, at this point in my life, thanks. At this point in my life, I walk into the bathroom and I'm standing in front of the bowl, and it actually takes me longer to start peeing than it does to actually pee. And when I do, it's like this series of urinary dots and dashes. It's like Morse code. I'm starting to get messages from ships at sea. You know, a lot of young guys here, I'm going to give you what I think are the 4 key rules to aging. 1, never pass up a bathroom. 2, never waste an erection. 3, never get down on the floor without a specific plan to get back up. And 4, and most importantly, never trust a fart. Yeah, you guys can see I got some tattoos. So I went without Pixie to get tattoos, and I get 3 lines tattooed above my knee. So I was sitting in the backyard, and Pixie says, why do you have 3 lines tattooed above your knee? And I said, well, you remember when the kids were little, we would draw a line on the door jamb. This way we could chart their growth. She goes, I get it, but I don't get the 3 lines. I said, well, I got these 3 lines tattooed above my knee because I'm measuring the impact of gravity on my balls. She says, well, why the dotted line? I said, because at that point, I have to stop wearing shorts. That's my time? All right, that's my time. Thank you very much.